Say live now. Listen up.
Yeah. Well, do.
Vinny Tortorich here. Hey man, if you're a fan of Izzy, you might be a fan of me too. I'm the guy that gets people to lose a lot of weight. I have something free for you guys. This is no clickbait. Just go to VinnyTortorich.com and there's a big banner. It's a free PDF, how to lose weight. It's an intro guide to NSNG at VinnyTortorich.com. Go check it out exclusively for anyone who listens to Izzy Presley. Thank you.
Replay Guitar Exchange is your premier independent guitar store. Being independent is good. With all of the major brands, including new, vintage, and pre-owned, you can find the guitar, bass, amp, or accessory you are dreaming of. From vintage to the newest models, Replay Guitar Exchange can help you find that perfect piece. They have industry veteran expert staff, all players like you down to the owner. You aren't just getting a great guitar, you're getting the Replay difference. Find them online at replayguitar.com and find your dream guitar today. Rockwood Saloon Authentic Apparel takes rock and roll fashion to a new level with their tees and tanks for men and women. They also make custom shirts, jackets, vests, pants, hoodies, beanies, and more. The Rockwood Graphics Department can design anything from your logo, t-shirt design, promo posters, band swag, and printed at great prices. From tour shirts and custom stage gear to killer threads for the street to the stage, Rockwood Saloon has it all. Rockwood Saloon, authentic rock and roll apparel for stage and street. World tour tested for quality, comfort, style, and durability. Check them out at www.rockwoodsaloon.com. That's rockwoodsaloon.com.
Hi, this is Bobby Brown, and welcome to another fucking podcast.
You kids with your loud music and your Dan Fogelberg, your Zima, hula hoops, and Pac-Man video games, don't you see? People today have attention spans that can only be measured in nanoseconds.
See, son, old legends never die. They just lose weight.
He's like a legend and an out-of-work bum with a lot of life.
Yes, it is party time. Hello, Hollywood. Hello, world. And hello, my loyal minions. It is good to see you, and it's always good to be seen. My name is Izzy Presley, and welcome to a very special Sunday morning hungover edition of another fucking podcast. It's good to see you. Welcome. And welcoming Anna Vocino in studio. We're going to bring her on in just a couple seconds here. Just got to get through all of the sentimental bullshit. Make sure you hit up all of the social media at Real Izzy Presley all the way across the board. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and the Facebook page for the show is Another Effin' Podcast. Make sure you go on there, hit like, hit follow. I'm on my quest for 1 million followers. Not quite there yet. Slowly getting up there. Also, make sure you check out, go ahead and download the Dash Radio app. There is a channel on there called Monsters of Rock. It is a new satellite company. And I'm on the Monsters of Rock channel every morning, 4 a.m. California time and 7 a.m. Yankee time. I think that's, if I'm using my math correctly. So go on there and you can hear me babble in the mornings. It's a lot of fun. I'm a gas bag and it's great. And it's fucking rock and roll, Bubba. It's awesome. Also, if you guys want to donate to the show, you absolutely can at Izzy Presley. No, that's not it. See, you got me up way before noon.
Too bad, sucker.
I'm so hungover I could belch and be drunk again. But, fuck it. Whatever. Izzy Presley at yahoo.com is the PayPal if you want to donate. Also, I know I haven't done one of these in a long, long time, but we are going to be doing another charity auction of a autographed Jack Daniels bottle, which has been sitting here for like a year waiting to get done, and I actually found a cause that we were going to do that because August 24th, I am going to be in Toronto. Yes, I'm getting flown up north to the Great White North by the good friends in the Killer Dwarfs. I am hosting their charity golf tournament in Toronto. It is going to be a blast. So I'm going to put together a little prize pack of the Jack Daniels bottle. I have one more of the roadie packs left, and I'm going to sign that. It is a flask. It is a God, what the hell else is in there? It's a flask, it's a Zippo, it's a dog tag, and it's a little LED flashlight, all with the Another Effing Podcast logo on. I'll sign that. I think I'm gonna put my George Lynch from Dawkins Starbucks order in there. And I have an autographed picture of Vinnie Paul that I'm going to throw in there too, and maybe a couple more stuff. See what we can come up with. So we're gonna auction that off and send all that money to the Killer Dwarfs charity golf tournament. It is Rock Against Hunger up in Toronto there, so that is going to be great. Also, Soundcheck Live. Our next one will be August 1st. Anna, you have to get down to Soundcheck Live.
What's
sometime.
that?
It is.
Tell us what that is.
It is an all-star jam that
Ooh.
I host in Hollywood at Lucky Strike in Hollywood.
Oh, awesome.
No cover, and I don't know who. They haven't announced who's playing yet. I mean, 2 months ago we had Richie Kotzen. We had Nudo Betancourt. We had from Extreme. We had Gary Sharon from Extreme, and we had Nancy fucking Wilson from Heart.
That's amazing.
It was off the hook. The last one we did was all Canadian music. It was awesome. And Steve Filazzo, the guy that puts this whole thing together, he's like, well, just so you know, you don't want to miss these next two. So I don't know. I'm just the MC. I'm just the pretty face on stage. I don't know what's going on, but I trust the almighty Filazzo, so we'll see. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcoming to the show. Somebody I've been wanting to get on for a long time, and I finally reached out, and we made it happen. Anna Vocino, you can hear her on every Monday on Vinnie Tortorich. You guys are all familiar with Vinnie Tortorich. His show is called Fitness Confidential, and she's the co-host on Mondays. You used to do it. Was it every one that you were on?
Yeah, when we first started the podcast, we, by meaning me, produced 3 episodes a week. And so we would record them all on a Sunday and then be hot and sweaty in the studio in North Hollywood. And then finally, now I just do Monday, and then he does more shows during the week.
Yeah, he's like every day.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable.
It's hard enough for me to do one a week.
Well, I think at this point, I don't want to say we run out of things to talk about, but there's only so many ways that you can say cut out sugars and grains and
Right.
move your body. Like that's
Right.
it. Like, because the advice isn't like here's 6-minute abs or like stupid shit like that.
Yeah,
It's even more basic. You still have to do it. You have
Right.
to implement it, but it's not complicated.
Well, the thing I do like about the show, though, is like you said, it's not just, all right, don't eat sugars and grains. Mm-hmm. I mean, you get Vinny going.
Well, we
which
have to
is
put our
awesome.
lives into it.
Well, absolutely.
That's, you know what I mean? Like we have to communicate. We have to have a rapport, or else it wouldn't work.
Yeah, that helps.
It helps a lot.
That
It helps a
helps.
lot. But you can't fill an hour with just like there are lots of podcasts like that, and they're good for information.
Right.
But ours is, I guess the marketing people would say infotainment is what they would say.
Well, you guys do a great job, and obviously, I mean, fucking huge numbers. I mean,
Yeah,
I would take a shot in the mouth to get those kind of fucking numbers, but it's awesome.
And I think I credit that to us building very slowly and organically, and then also not compromising anything, because there's no way for us. We basically will only do an ad for something that we already like and use.
Right.
So we've left a lot of money on the table, which could be argued as very stupid. My husband says that. Like, you could be a lot more profitable with this thing, but we did it because we loved it. I mean,
Yeah.
I've been waiting for a laugh track. How do I get my hands on a laugh track?
I can send you that laugh track. That is,
Yeah.
there's a band called XYZ. There was
Yes.
a band XYZ. Do you
Oh
remember
yeah,
XYZ?
I remember XYZ. I'm
they're-
old enough to remember XYZ. Yes.
This is why we're going to get along.
Yeah.
So Pat Fontaine, their bass player, a crazy French guy. I'll have to send you his interview on this show. It was
cool.
fucking hilarious. But he's French, and that's his laugh.
Yeah.
So every time I
Legit,
see
that's
him,
his laugh.
I go, hey, oui, yeah, and literally, that's how he laughs. Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's fucking great. Anyways, continue.
I don't know what the fuck I was saying.
You think I did?
You're hungover. What did you drink last night? Let's recap.
I drank.
Let's have an alcohol recap.
There was Jack Daniels involved. Straight.
But you didn't start with Jack Daniels.
I started with a beer and Jack Daniels.
Exactly.
Bud Light. Then he's like, no, okay, Bud Light's fine. I'm
Because
like,
it's
all right.
water.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not one of these neck-bearded snobs, you know. Well, the hops and fuck you.
You're just cutting the Jack Daniels. That's basically you had a Jack and water, is what you're saying.
Easy now. But look, I love the domestic. I'm a simple Midwestern kid. I like domestic light beers, Jack Daniels, and my fish fried.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Exactly. So yeah, it was. I didn't eat by accident.
Oh.
And I woke up and I'm like, shit, I got to get going. And I walk into the Rainbow and I run into my buddies in Junkyard. You remember Junkyard?
Yeah.
Yeah, I run into my buddies in Junkyard and I'm like, oh shit, this is going to be a long night.
and so it was.
And so it was. So
well, were you shooting Jack or were you drinking it? Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
You just jumped right on that answer.
Oh, of course. Of course. Is there any other way?
I went to Musso and Frank's last night for the first time ever after living in LA for 18 years.
Okay, what's Musso and Frank's?
Musso and Frank's is on Hollywood Boulevard, and it is a steakhouse, but it's like an old school steakhouse. And it has been there since like 1919 or something crazy like that. And Charlie Chaplin and Douglas Fairbanks used to go and meet for lunch there, and whoever got there first didn't have to pay for lunch. And it turns out that Douglas Fairbanks bought a car finally because they would ride their horses up from Charlie Chaplin's lot.
Holy shit.
And Douglas Fairbanks buys a car and doesn't tell Charlie Chaplin, so he keeps getting there first, and Charlie Chaplin has to pay for lunch. And finally, Charlie Chaplin sees he has a car. And he kept lying, saying, like, well, where's your horse? He's like, oh, I parked it down there. I wanted to walk. I don't know. I just thought that was cute with the two of them.
Okay, so
that's Musso and Frank. So I had this, it's called the chiffonade salad. Which is basically like an old school, like seafood Louis kind of salad.
Ooh.
And a little martini plus a little vodka soda. So I've got a little fuzzy headedness going on too.
Yeah, but you weren't drinking till 4 a.m.
No. I was in bed by 11.
Yeah, and you were probably up when I was just going to bed.
I got up at 5:30.
Yeah, you were up when
There
I
you
was
go.
just going to bed. Musso and Frank's. It sounds like a place that
You haven't been to Musso and Frank's?
I drive
See,
left.
that's what everyone says to me. You don't go to Musso and Frank's? It's like a Hollywood institution. I was like, okay, I'm sorry.
Okay, you got to remember, I drive Lyft to make my money, so
Right.
I can barely afford the dollar menu.
Musso and Frank's is, I got to say, overpriced for what you get. But it's an experience, and you're at the Hollywood place.
Exactly.
You know.
Is it? See, now it already fit the requirement. I have this thing. I refuse to go any place that's a one-word name, that's not somebody's last name, or there's not a "the" in front of it.
Hold on, I'm trying to sort through the logic of these rules. So you would go to...
I would go to Musso and Frank's.
Musso and Frank's, but you would not go to...
I would not go to Crave.
Oh, that is my... Plate or Taste.
Yes.
Those places drive me crazy, and they're all brunch
Thank
places,
you.
too,
Well,
with assholes. Bye.
Any place that
Toast.
it's a tapas place.
Oh, well, tapas is the biggest ripoff in the
I
whole
know
restaurant
it's
industry.
It's overpriced appetizers,
and you get like 2 bites, and if you're there with my husband, you don't get to eat any of it because he eats all of it. Or if you're there with anybody else, you have to order like 4 of them so you can eat.
Exactly.
And it's not that I don't like to share. I do. I just don't like to share when it's only 2 bites on the plate.
I agree. And I wish I had the soundbite.
Crave.
That clip from Friends. Joey doesn't share food.
Yes, exactly.
So yes, exactly. So yeah, it's like it can't have a one-word name.
Okay.
That's not
Shoe.
right. That doesn't have an apostrophe, or it's not somebody's last name, or there's not a "the" in front of it.
The shoe.
And it's basically just that. It's like because the plates are smaller, it's usually overpriced.
Yeah.
You don't get as much food.
I have a big...
And the music usually sucks.
Well, yeah, for sure. I take umbrance with a lot of Los Angeles restaurants, which is why I think Los Angeles restaurants' strength are these kind of old school institutions.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But I don't, the new ones, they don't compete with other cities. Like what they're doing in Atlanta with food, I think is better. Anyway, that's my diatribe.
Well,
go ahead and tweet to me.
You're also
screw you. Atlanta sucks, but that's not true. Atlanta has great places.
Well, yeah, they have Waffle House.
They do have Waffle House. Scattered, smothered, covered, topped, chunked.
Oh yeah.
What is it? Topped with chunk diced chili? I don't know.
I
can't
get
remember. Birch chili.
I get there so little because the closest one is Phoenix.
That's pretty close.
I
I didn't
know.
know that there was one in Phoenix.
That's the closest one. Yeah. Why they don't have a Waffle House and a White Castle out here blows my mind.
It is weird. Beastie Boys said, "I chill White Castle because it's the best, but I fly a fat burger when I'm way out west." And those are words to live by.
They are, but I'm more of an In-N-Out guy.
Yeah, me too.
Fat Burger's good.
It's good.
But
it'll do.
It's sufficient, but it's expensive.
Both of them, though, will do low carb, and I appreciate that.
Yes,
White Castle doesn't
yes.
really do a low carb thing.
Well, it's White Castle. You shouldn't expect that.
I do expect
it's
it.
It's so
I
amazing, though.
expect it.
What everybody's like, well, I've never had White Castle. It's like, it's so bad.
It's like Crystal Burgers.
It's
the little tiny sliders.
Yeah.
With
Well,
little...
Crystal is, see, what happened was, this is what I was told. I haven't done like any internet research on this, but this is what I was told, is that the owners of White Castle split, and one of the guys went down south, and they like made a line, like the Mason-Dixon line, and White Castle.
This here's Crystal Burger property.
Yeah, and that's basically what it is.
No
So
White Castles allowed.
It's basically the same thing.
Well, you would think that they want to call White Castle the ones in the South because all the white supremacists. Just saying, hey-o.
Hey-o. So yeah, you grew up in the South.
I did.
And
Well, my dad moved to Alabama when I was 8 months old, so I had to split time between Alabama and D.C., which is where I grew up with my mom.
Okay.
So D.C.'s kind of like not really the South, but it also is once you drive like an hour outside of D.C.
Yep.
So yeah, I spent a lot of time in the South. And then I went to Emory, which is in Atlanta.
There you go.
Yeah. And then I got the fuck out.
I've only driven. I've flown through Atlanta and driven through Atlanta.
Oh, it's
I've
a great
never
city. It's wonderful.
I moved to Tampa like in 2010. I was supposed to move to Tampa. It ended up being Fort Lauderdale. That's another long story that we don't have to get into. But on my way back, I was on E and I had to stop, and it was like 3:00 in the morning, and I'm like, all right, I'm on the interstate going through Atlanta.
You're driving on E.
I'm driving.
That's
on
not
E.
easy to do.
No, it's not.
Probably not a good choice.
No, and I got off on. I don't even know the interstate that goes through there, but it was the interstate and Martin Luther King Boulevard.
Right.
It was not a pretty area of town.
I know exactly.
And I had no choice. I'm like, shit, I'm going to run out of gas. I have to stop here.
Right.
At 3:00 in the morning.
Did you find a gas station?
I found a gas station.
You're right near Turner Field then.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Very well.
Not that there was a game going on at that hour.
No. I was just happy I found a gas station.
And that place is no more.
That's right. They
got
built a
rid of
new
it.
one.
Mm-hmm.
That stadium wasn't that old.
No. They built it while I was there in college, which I guess that's how old I am. There was sometime between 91 and 95 is when they built that stadium.
Oh, yes. I remember. Well, I'm a Twins fan, so, we beat you in 91.
Oh, yeah. Is that the one where, what's his name, bunted and he shanked the bunt? It was the World Series where Otis something, he bunted and he shanked it.
No.
Was that against the Twins?
No. The one with the Twins was, I remember Ken Herbeck pulled Ron Gant off of first base.
Oh, wow. Ron Gant. That's
and
a name. Blast
and
from the past name.
He got called out but I mean, you watch the replay now, it's like, yeah, he totally pulled him off the base, but it was awesome. And that was game
for you guys.
I know. I think it was game 1 or game 2. And I remember it was game 3 was in Atlanta. And when Herbeck got announced, it was just like these showers of booze. And he just looked at the camera and goes, God, I love this. This is awesome. So what made you want to get out of Atlanta?
Oh, my husband and I had a 2-year-old at the time, and we just basically we knew we were going to either move to New York or LA because we wanted to pursue television. Mm-hmm. We had just filmed a pilot for Fox in Atlanta, and this is before they filmed everything in Atlanta, which they film everything there now.
They do.
We left at the wrong time. But no, what made our decision was we had a 2-year-old. So we were like, are we going to go to New York and have a 2-year-old? That's going to be so difficult with no dollars and a 2-year-old. Or go to LA, which is still difficult with no dollars and a 2-year-old. But we did that. So that's, we flipped a coin and wound up in LA, and I'm glad we did. And we raised her in North Hollywood. She's a Valley child.
Oh,
and now
boy.
she's off at college in New York.
Does she have the Valley Girl accent?
No. She does not. I had many years of having the girls in my car and saying, let's not end things in an upward inflection. Like, unless you're asking me a question, don't speak to me like that. I'm not having it.
Oh, my God. I mean, like I said, I drive Lyft, and it's like every once in a while I'll get those gals in the car,
right.
And they're like, I'm just like, oh, my God, shoot me now.
Well, it's a weird thing. It's a mixture of the vocal fry with the Valley Girl inflection, and to me it connotes a bit of not having confidence in what you're saying. And I speak professionally for a living.
Yes, you
That's
do.
what I do. So I was like, I'm not having it with y'all. You don't have to be the most eloquent person. Lord knows I'm not. But we're not going to talk. We're not doing that.
Right. Well, it's funny. It's like that's kind of the millennial, the stereotypical millennial talk too. It's like, I don't know if this is really cool with me.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's a non-committal. Like, just say it's not cool with me.
Yeah, exactly. That's why that's why like the Jack in the Box commercials annoy me, because that guy has that douchey millennial voice.
Well, that's probably why they do it.
Oh, it's so bad.
I heard that guy was one of the ad agency guys.
Wouldn't shock me.
Yeah.
Yeah. They should have one of us. It would be so much better.
One of us.
So, okay, so you wanted to get into acting. Oh, well, wait a minute. So you've been with your husband that long.
Yes.
And you've survived in Los Angeles in the industry.
I know.
That long.
We've been married over 19 years, and we're both comics, and we do a dual stand-up act about marriage.
And that's what you're doing tonight.
That's what we're doing tonight at the Open Space Theater in West Hollywood, 457 North Fairfax. We are doing a show called Funny How. It's a new monthly show that we're producing. We're going to host tonight. We have, do you know Wax? He's a local musician who's got he tours all the time. He does kind of comedy songs, kind of raps, he's amazing. He's headlining tonight. And we have a bunch of great comics on the lineup, and we're going to do this. We're doing it. We're locked in now. We signed the contract. We're doing a monthly show.
Fuck yeah, dude, that's awesome.
In West Hollywood, Sunday night. So it starts at 7 p.m., so you can go drinking afterwards or go home and go to bed.
I would never go drinking. I don't know what you're talking about.
Never, ever. Well, then go home and watch John Oliver, whatever your thing is then.
No.
That was a firm no.
How about, he used to be funny. He used to be really good, and then Trump won, and he ended up not being funny anymore.
Do you think that made him unfunny? His hatred of Trump?
I think that made a lot of people unfunny.
Interesting.
It was like a change in comedy. It's like they went from like Sarah Silverman is one.
Yeah.
Colbert is. I mean, a lot of these, nighttime host guys, but like there's a lot of comedy. Like even Dave Chappelle.
They really go after him.
It's
not,
like,
and I'm not a supporter.
No.
So I'm not, but I'm also like, it is as a comedian, you watch what people are doing.
Yeah.
I feel like Kimmel does it really well. I like his layups back to Trump and his back and forth with him. But yeah, it's tough because they all focus on it a lot.
It is, and it's look, a funny joke is a funny joke.
Sure,
whatever. There's shit that people. It's like, okay, that's funny, but when it just comes off as I can't take this anymore, I'm whining about it. It's like, oh, God.
Yeah.
Stop.
My guess is that that's the only way they can process what's happening to our nation.
Right?
So they use their platform thusly.
We got Cliff checking in from Minnesota. Not sure who this chick is, but she is cool as fuck.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
Cliff, my new best friend.
This is Anna Vocino. She is a comic. She is a voice actress.
Yes.
She's a podcast host along with Vinny Tortorich every Monday on Fitness Confidential.
I wrote the book Eat Happy
she wrote
because
the
of
book,
that
Eat
podcast.
Happy, yes, and we're going to get into that in the second half of the
Lord.
I'm actually going to buy that for my mom.
Don't buy it. I'll bring you one. Don't buy it.
Well, then I want to buy one for myself.
Don't buy it. I'll bring you two.
Aww.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Because, my stepdad's type 2. And
perfect.
And I told her, it's like, look, we can get Devin off of his meds.
Totally.
And
we have, between Vinny's group and my group, our Facebook groups, we have 29,000 people in the Facebook groups. And I haven't counted the number of people who've gone off meds, but it's multiple times a day. People are posting that they're going off their blood pressure medication, their type 2 diabetes medication, other things like they have for pain or autoimmune or fibromyalgia. I'm squeezing my hands, but you know what I'm talking about, the joint thing, arthritis, things like that. People are going off medication just by cutting out sugars and grains, and it's pretty amazing. And there are other things you can do. Like I have celiac, so I didn't have gluten since 2002. Mm-hmm. But what I started doing was I love to make food, and I started food blogging, and I was like, what if I could figure out how to make gluten-free lasagna or red velvet cake or key lime pie? I'm from the South, and I'm also half Italian, so I'm going to make all those things.
Right.
And what if I could make them gluten-free and so that nobody would know, so they could come to my house and we could eat these? And then I just kept putting on weight and putting on weight and putting on weight. And then it wasn't until I met Vinny where he's like, try it. Try cutting out the sugars and grains. And I was like, damn, it worked. And not only does it work for that, but it works, like we said, for all these other body things.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that I probably was on the path to type 2 diabetes myself because I was getting that high A1C, baby, that pre-diabetic A1C, which is the marker that they tell you, hey.
What is that?
An A1C, from what I understand, is like an average. It's like A1C blood hemoglobin or something. It's an average of your blood sugar. It's a marker that it's more reliable than just like what you woke up with that particular morning when they took your blood sugar. So it's a marker that can tell over time if you have elevated blood sugars and therefore insulin resistance and therefore possibly type 2 diabetes, depending on where it is.
Gotcha. Yeah, see, I get scared about that. I mean, yeah, I'm not a large obese man, but I do look like a pregnant WNBA player. So I'm tall and I have a gut. I mean, it's what happens when you're tall. That's where it just goes, which sucks.
But for guys, though, this is where I get jealous after watching 29,000 people. Guys, you can do NSNG for like 3 weeks. You're like, I'm down 18 pounds. And it's like, screw you. Women, it's much harder. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's hard. And with men, you can be like, I just didn't eat Ben & Jerry's and I lost all this weight. And it's obnoxious.
And look, I tell you what I told Vinny too when I was on his show. It's like why it's hard for me is because I'm an addict. I'm a sugar addict.
So that what you're drinking, this Monster drink, that has sugar in it or it has fake sugars?
Yeah. Oh no.
I don't know about let me see it. I don't know about the Monster drinks. What has a very cool like Dios de los Muertos sort of
yes
design, which is enticing. Oh my God! Look at these ingredients. Oh, okay. Oh yeah. Second ingredient, sugar. Oh yeah. Mango juice, which is basically sugar.
Yep.
Guava puree is sugar. White grape juice, sugar. Glucose is sugar.
Yep.
Apple juice, sugar. And then pineapple syrup, pineapple juice. Wait, but where's all the caffeine? L-carnitine and aren't those what are they called? Amino acids or something?
Or sugar.
Or just sugar.
Matt, if you're listening, I'm sorry.
No, okay. Oh, caffeine. Oh, 76 milligrams per 8-ounce serving, and this is a 16-ounce. So there's, whoa, that's almost empty. Are you feeling buzzed? Are you feeling?
No.
Oh, damn, you are hungover then.
And
that doesn't work.
And I think this is the reason cocaine does nothing to me.
Oh, because you drink that and you don't feel it?
Yeah.
I think, I love coffee, but I can only have 1 cup in the morning, and I think if I drank that, I would simultaneously, my head would explode and I'd shit my pants. That's what would happen.
Which would be hilarious.
I would find that hilarious too, as long as it wasn't like in a public pool, you know?
Right, exactly. No, it's like, well, I mean, I do the coffee thing, and I do it with the heavy whipping cream, like Vinny preaches, and it's amazing and it's great. And every time I try to cut, I mean, this is the number one thing. It's like, yeah, I can have a sandwich now and then, but this is the thing that holds me back. And
well, it's funny because they all say, oh, in moderation. And the thing that I discovered for me personally, there was no such thing as moderation anymore because you have like the one thing. And if your body, when you get to a certain age, your body's like, nope, we're not handling that anymore.
Yeah.
Like we literally can't take it. So you either continue doing that or you know what I mean? Or you got to change it. And for me, it was a big wake up call to get the blood work and go, why I've always been a skinny person. Why can't I lose weight anymore? Why is this happening? And it's not fair.
Right. Well,
but the fact of the matter is we've fucked up a lot of shit with all this food and added stuff into it,
I know. Well, it's funny because I hung out with my friend Stephanie last night after the show, and we went to her place and we watched Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, which is amazing. And
I remember that movie. I love the Kevin Smith movies.
Oh, how can you not?
They're so great. I saw Mallrats in the theater twice. That's how old I am.
Have you ever been to the mall? That mall?
Not that mall.
It's the Eden Prairie Center in Eden Prairie, Minnesota.
Amazing.
I've walked in and said, I love the smell of commerce in the morning.
Perfect. Perfect.
Actually, I bought the soundtrack at the record store in that mall because it was.
That's a true fan.
Yeah.
Have you had Kevin Smith on the show to tell him that?
Not on this show. I interviewed Kevin when I was in print a long time ago, and it was when I was not a good interviewer, so I had the interview list. Like
when you would be like, so when you wrote Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back,
exactly.
Why did you cast Alanis Morissette as God?
Yeah,
okay.
Pretty much.
Different movie, I know. But.
Yeah. But actually, one of the reasons I moved out here, other than sitting at the Randall playing Lemmy's Machine, was Kevin Smith was supposed to be making this hockey movie, and when I interviewed him, it was for the Red State, Have you ever seen The Red State?
No.
Oh my God.
Is it good?
Oh yeah. Because it's not a Kevin. I mean, it's a Kevin Smith movie, but it's not a Kevin Smith movie. It's like a suspense thriller type thing.
Oh, that's cool.
Based off of the who are the nutbags in Kansas? The that religious group that they protest.
Like, the Westboro Baptist Church.
Yes, it's based off of them. But it's like,
Lord.
oh my dude, this movie's
Those
great.
folks is crazy.
They're nuts. But so I interviewed him for that, and I'm like, well, if you need any skaters for this hockey movie, I'm from Minnesota.
Yeah, you guys are born with little skates
it's like,
on
all right,
your feet.
done. Yeah, I mean, we're basically South Canada.
Yeah.
It's in the blood. But so I don't know why in the hell we started talking about that because Kevin Smith rules. Let's get back to you, though. Let's get back to you. But before we get back to you, I want to talk about beater amplification. That's BEETER. These things are balls out rock and roll. You can see that one right behind you. Beater amplification. These things are amazing. Clint. Jesus Christ, this is how hungover I am. I think I'm still drunk.
Maybe.
Well, fuck it. Roll with it. Cliff, you got to check these out. These guys are out of Mankato. Hand-wired, hand-built, 100 watts of testicular fortitude in a head. 3 channels. You can get that balls out rock and roll tone, like the AC/DC tone. And you also get that clean Fender tone out of these things, too. They're hand-wired. I should have a read written for this, but this makes it more fun, just babbling through it. But, whatever. Check them out. Beater Amplification, 2 E's, BEETER, beateramplification.com. I just had Sam Bam Colton from Knee High Fox over to check this thing out, and he was just raving about it. Everybody that comes in that plays guitar checks these things out. Love them. All right, so back to Anna Vocino.
Hi. Hello.
Hello. All right, so what made you want to get into the entertainment industry?
Oh, because I've always done it.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense.
I always wanted to go to Los Angeles or New York, but in my junior year at Emory, we started an improv theater company in Atlanta that's still there called Whole World Theater. And so we stayed, and the whole experience for me culminated in doing that an improv pilot for Fox. And just always have done it. And then I did a bunch of voiceover in Atlanta, and then I realized, that's an even better way to make money because nobody's looking at your face or your body and judging it. For me, it was a much more comfortable place to live behind a microphone. And so shortly after I got out to Los Angeles, I found a coach who I really liked, Nancy Wolfson, who's still coach. She's the best coach and demo producer in town. And I studied with her, and I just kind of hit the ground running. And then I managed to still do television. So I did a sketch comedy shows on Spike TV. I did a show called Free Radio that was on VH1 and Comedy Central, and I still worked on camera, but voiceover was kind of my main thing.
Nice.
And then everything kind of culminated, and now doing the dual stand-up act with my husband is we've been doing comedy festivals all over the country and doing a lot of shows in New York and here in LA. And so it's voiceover. I always joke it's a good day job. It's a really good day job to be able to do comedy, which pays not a lot.
Yes,
if at all.
Yes,
$5 maybe.
Yeah, I know. I've done comedy 3 times, and I've gotten paid 0 times.
Yeah, I think the most I've gotten paid is $125 from doing a night of comedy. So that's great, by the way. That's a high-paying night until you're in a... There was an article that came out recently. I can't remember what, but it was talking about how the mid-level comedians are making $3,000 to $4,000 a week. And I was like, no, they're not. They're very much not. Right. Let's not print things like that make you think mid-level comedians are earning that much money, because they're not.
Well, it's the guys the
big guys are, for sure.
Well, look, I mean, guys like Craig Gass, but he does more than just comedy.
Right.
Well,
a lot of the guys, they have books out, they host radio shows, they have podcasts. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's do we have a system crash?
No, we're good.
No, everything's fine. Everything's fine. We're good. We're all good. It's still running. I see the levels.
Yes.
Levels are good.
It's all good.
All good. Yeah, no, everybody has multiple streams of income these days.
Yeah, well, like Craig S is an example. It's like, he started out on Stern, and then he's done Family Guy. He's done all this stuff, and he does voices, which helps him.
That does help
tremendously.
Maria Bamford's the same way. She does all these amazing voices, and Rachel Feinstein too. Mm-hmm. So they get to do a lot of cartoons.
Yeah. Do you do voices or?
I do.
Okay.
I do. I'm on some cartoons now.
Nice.
Some kid cartoons.
See, my problem is it's like I have my radio guy voice, like you heard in the ads.
Yeah.
And some really bad impressions. That's about it.
Impressions you don't really do that much, but the radio voice you would do a lot in voiceover because there's a lot of announcing that you have to do.
I would love to do that. I mean, I got the setup here. It's like I can. Well, it's not like fucking, like a $10,000 studio, but
you don't need it.
I know.
That's the thing.
I know.
I do. I voice all the promos for Thursday nights on ABC, the TGIT show.
Really?
Yes, the Scandal. I forgot the shows. Grey's Anatomy, Scandal, and How to Get Away with Murder. Now Scandal's done, so it'll be another show. But I do it from my home studio. All of it's from my home studio in North Hollywood. All the promos that you hear are from people's home studios.
Yeah, I would love to get into that someday. Let's do this. Let's take a short break.
Okay.
And I have to get another one of these. No, I'm fine.
Another monster drink?
You'll slap me if I get up and get another one.
You totally can.
Nah, it's a long way to walk.
Okay, I'm going to drink a LaCroix so that I'm belching when we come back
yes,
from break.
some LaCroix water. Yes.
LaCroix.
LaCroix. All right.
Here, let me open it on the...
Yeah, do it.
Oh, that's such a cool sound.
It is. It really is. We'll be right back with Anna Vocino. We'll get more into her book, and we're just going to keep bullshitting. This is good shit. It's another fucking podcast.
RockstarLeatherworks.com is your home for badass rock and roll gear. Featuring 100% handmade leather bands, watches, cuffs, bracelets, and more, Rockstar Leatherworks has something for everybody. Whether you are going to the show or you are in it, you can find something to fit your needs. Choose from a variety of designs or create your own masterpiece. Their bands and watches are second to none. They also ship internationally. Who needs a stage to be a rock star? Check out RockstarLeatherworks.com.
If you need to promote your band or business, or just want to stylize, personalize, or customize your ride, check out vid-decals.com. Want to create and customize your own stickers representing your band, or make your own bumper sticker? Vid Decals can do it. All stickers are printed on quality vinyl and can be placed on any flat surface. Stickers are an affordable way to promote your band or business. Go to vid-decals.com to get started. That's vid-decals.com. vid-decals.com.
Hey ladies, Sass Pants Designs will take that rock shirt that everyone has and make it your own in a flattering, sassy, and simple way. There are one-of-a-kind tank tops, lace-up tees, and tube top dresses already in stock. Check out the online store at sasspantsdesigns.com and like Sass Pants Designs on Facebook for special offers and custom orders. That's sasspantsdesigns.com, sasspantsdesigns.com. Sass Pants will make you the envy of the party.
Retro Arcade brings Minnesota and surrounding areas arcade games from the days gone by. All of those great games from pizza joints and arcades are available in cocktail units and custom machines. Dozens of favorites from your youth in one machine to complete your game room or man cave. Retro Arcade also sells and services your favorite pinball machines. Find them at facebook.com/80arcade. That's facebook.com/80arcade. Retro Arcade. Your youth is just one click away.
Hey, what's going on? This is Tom Arnold. I like fat women and cocaine. And you're listening to Izzy Presley here on another fucking podcast. And I know Izzy from Cocaine Anonymous meetings. I've actually seen him at the meetings with Ace Von Johnson from, I probably shouldn't say this out loud, but Ace has got a bad coke problem. And his sponsor is Josh Todd from, and again, I shouldn't say this out loud, but Josh is his sponsor for Buck Cherry. He's addicted to upskirt porn. And they're both being sponsored by the Eagles. The whole band, the Eagles. Anyways, another fucking podcast right here with Izzy Presley, and call your sponsor. Fucking A.
God, I love Craig Gass.
Amazing.
Welcome back to another effing podcast. Before we get back into Anna Vocino, make sure you check out A&P Laser Productions, or A&P Productions Laser Engraving Division. This is what happens when I'm hungover. I can't talk very goodly. They engrave stuff, and it's awesome. ANPlasers.com. I know they had a big June special. They can engrave anything. A lot of it is like glasses and flasks, and they're based out of Minnesota, and he does a lot of gun shows, so he'll like laser engrave people's sidearms. It's badass.
Wow.
So check them out. APlasers.com. I got to get that web address correct.
That's important.
APlasers.com and ANP Laser on Facebook. Just check them out. They're fucking amazing. They're great. Anna Vocino.
Yeah.
Okay, so we started talking about voiceover.
Yeah.
I want to get into the comedy thing first. Though.
Yeah.
So, did you always want to be a comic, or was it where did that start? Because I know you said you did one of those improv.
Yeah,
things.
I did improv for years, like no joke, thousands of shows. When I was 18, I saw the collegiate improv troupe at Emory called Rathskeller, which is the oldest collegiate improv troupe in the country. I saw them perform at like orientation or something, and I was like, that's amazing. I have to do that. I'm going to pick the least profitable thing to do. I mean, stand-up is what improv makes even less money.
Holy shit.
So, but we managed to start this theater. I was in Rathskeller, and then we started this theater. And at the time, in the late 90s, early aughts, we were making, we had sold out shows. We did 5 shows a night for over 7 years before I moved to LA. And we were making $50 a show per actor.
Holy, that's
which
like
is
$250.
I know. If you did all 5 shows, you made $250 a week.
I can do math.
You can do math. I'm so proud of you. So that was like amazing. I didn't even realize how good we had it.
Right.
Like it was a good setup, but it was a training ground for everything.
Mm-hmm. So
I always wanted to do stand up, and then I didn't because I got to LA and I started doing UCB here in town.
Aha.
I did that for years, and that was awesome. And it wasn't until 4 years ago that I was like, I'm going to do stand up and start writing. I am very lucky that I am married to a comedy writer. So when I write my things, I can run things past him and he can tell me, no, that's terrible, or no, that's funny. And how about you try this instead? I also have a writers group of other comics, and we get together every week. And that first started with Jerry Katzman, who runs a writers group, and I got hooked up with him, and that I feel like shortened the learning curve of writing, because we pitch stuff to each other every week before we even take it on stage. So it makes the process of having to do an open mic more to see if something works than just saying like, here's an idea and it's not really fleshed out yet. I prefer to write before I get on stage. And now that I'm doing a dual act, it's trickier because you have to have the beats down. It's a little bit of he said, she said. It's a little bit of storytelling, and it's a little bit of stand-up, right? So we have to have the beats down a little more. So if we were to get up and just ramble at an open mic, it would be very painful, and people would not cotton to us at all.
It is very painful.
Open mics are very painful.
They are.
Then finally you start to get enough regular shows, and we do a lot of what they call the alt scene in New York. It's the same thing here in LA, which is there's tons of alt comedy shows because not everybody's on stage at the clubs.
Right.
And by the time you're on stage at the clubs, you want to make sure you have this stuff really dialed in.
Yeah, yeah.
So you can work on material. You have more places to work on material. But yeah, that's basically the process. And now I'm like, oh, this is interesting. I think I started it at the right time, which is to say, as an old person.
Back in my day, we were onions.
And
on
telling jokes on stage is wonderful.
Oh, wait.
It's cathartic.
We're not as old as Vinny, so don't.
That's true.
Don't.
Oh, I
sell us too
remind
short.
him of that.
Oh, as well do I.
Yeah. He doesn't care. He knows he's an old fucker.
Yeah. He's got me by 10 years. So
me too. So we're the same age.
Yeah. So you're 45.
I'm 45. Yep.
45.
45 is like, boy, that was a tough one though, because it's like I'm basically 50.
See, 25 was tougher for me because that's the quarter of a century mark.
25 was tough. 35 was tough.
Yeah, 30 was tough.
It's all tough.
It's all tough.
Let's be honest.
I remember I was turning 30 and my boss at the time was like, what do you have to worry about? You're 30 going on 15. I'm like, oh, that's a good point.
That's nice.
Yeah, because, I basically...
Because you were 30 going on 15.
I mean, come on. I have a Beavis on my desk. And if you've looked at any of my tweets, you can tell that, yeah, this guy is very immature.
When there's a Yoda and there's a Hawaiian girl,
Yeah.
it's very entertaining.
Yeah.
But then also a post-it that says, don't fuck up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And
you're adulting a little bit.
I'm trying, and I don't like that word.
I know, I don't either. I'm sorry.
then-
I apologize, everyone. I apologize.
And then Vinny's This Stops Now.
Oh, Vinny wrote that?
Well, he tells that story all the time. So I'm like, oh, that's a good thing to write down. This stops now.
You think I would remember all of his stories? He's told too many stories.
No. God, I fucking
He
love Vinny.
spun a lot of yarns, that guy.
How much do you think the improv helped you as far as getting on stage as a comic?
Oh, you have to be able to, with stand-up, call out what's going on in the room. Like if some weird noise happens and the comic just brushes right over it and continues on with rehearsed material, everyone's like, why? You need to call out what happens.
Right.
Or if people aren't responding, you need to stop what you're doing and interact with them and bring them in. It helps tremendously. And I can tell the really seasoned comics do that really well, and they've learned that they have to be present in the room. And newer folks, you can tell they're like, I'm just going to say what bugs me is the thing that, and I get that because it's really hard. You want to just, am I going to remember the joke? Am I going to say it right? Am I going to, it's very nerve wracking, but improv helps tremendously.
See, I've got this thing too, because I used to be a sports writer. And you watch the news and you watch the sideline reporters, yada, yada, yada. I have this thing. It's like, I think every single person that is going to be on TV at any point, especially in news, in sports reporting, whatever, they should do improv.
Yes.
Because, it is just painful sometimes. You can tell that they don't know.
It is.
They don't know where to go when they're doing an interview. It's like, dude, I think it's like, dude, if you go through improv, you will be
helpful.
a better interviewer.
Yes,
You know?
it helps you think on your feet. It helps you because you have to have that thing where you have to be free and loose and easy and listening, but you also in your mind have to kind of know it could go in this direction.
Right.
Like if you're in long form improv, you need to be able to tell a story, a beginning, a middle, and an end in about 20 to 25 minutes, and that's not an easy task to do. You rehearse a lot to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And I think improv just helps with everything. However, that being said, I've done many episodes of Jimmy Kimmel Live, but 2 of them have been live. In the taping, they have this sketch. What if Siri was a waitress, or what if Siri was a doctor? So I play that.
You do the Siri voice.
I do the Siri voice, but I'm also on. So like I'm interacting with Jimmy, and I've done things like off camera for voices for the show, but those are 2 that I've done on camera. And I think to myself, I have utmost respect for anybody who does live television or Saturday Night Live, and I'm surprised they don't break more or screw up their lines more.
Right.
Because it is so nerve-wracking. And that sketch in particular, for me, is nerve-wracking because I'm playing if Siri were a waitress. So she's a human, but she has to speak like a robot. So I cannot fuck up my lines because Siri doesn't mess up lines.
Right.
So luckily it went over well the 2 times I did it, but I was shitting bricks. And then, of course, every time afterwards, I'm like, oh, I wish I enjoyed that more. You know what I mean? Like, I wish I had enjoyed doing the thing, but I was so freaking out trying to make the mark and say the lines right. And also, too, you don't rehearse with Jimmy.
Oh, really?
No. I've done 40 episodes of this show. I've never actually rehearsed with him. You just go out and you do the thing when it's being taped live, or you do the thing. I've done like an Alexa voice in a bunch of sketches, like backstage. Mm-hmm. But I always think that's funny because you rehearse with the stage manager, and then like one time when I did the waitress one, they said we're going to have a prompter there. And I was like, oh, thank goodness. But they didn't. So thank goodness I was off book and had my lines memorized.
Right.
And it wasn't that many lines. But still, it was like one of those things like, I don't know. How do you do that day after day after day? I have really the utmost respect for people who do live television.
Yeah, as a musician, and I use that term lightly.
He's doing giant air quotes.
Giant
air quotes.
At least it's like it's the same shit. You're playing the same songs,
right?
So it's repetition, but having to do something different every single night. Wow,
I know it's pretty incredible, and stand-ups and musicians, you can play the same material, do the same material every night, but you're still open to whatever's going on live in the room.
Right. Well, see,
which is good.
Stand-ups are different, though. It's like stand-up, you have to keep coming up with new shit.
That's true. You want to, though, because you get bored with it. The stuff we were doing, we only been doing this act for a year, and we're sick of the stuff we wrote a year ago, and we have about a half an hour of material that we keep throwing stuff away and then adding to and throwing stuff away and adding to because we get sick of it. Like, that joke's stupid. That was us last year, which is dumb, but...
You remember the first time you got up on stage doing stand-up?
Yeah. My first show, I was like, it was a good show. And I was like, oh, this is better than any improv show I've ever done. This feels amazing. And then you just chase that forever and ever.
Right. So your first time doing stand-up wasn't at an open mic.
No, I did. Well, I did do an open mic, but I had been working on material for a couple of months before I was too scared to get up and even try it. And boy, you have to get up and try it because every place you go, the lights are in your face. You can't see people's faces for reaction, so you really are listening for a chuckle.
Yeah.
One little chortle in the back. I remember one of my very first open mics, there was this drunk homeless lady in there. And she was cracking up, and I was like, "Thank God for her! Like she helped me so much. God bless her."
Yeah. Thank you, Pat Fontaine. Yeah. I mean, the first time I did it, I write my jokes. I can't sit down and write. It's like they just come to me.
Right.
I'm not one. I wrote some jokes for somebody, so I sat down and I was like at the computer. I was like, "Okay, this sucks." They just have to come to me, and I usually shit comes to me when I'm driving. When I'm out, doing Lyft or whatever. And that's when I decided, it's like, I should try stand-up.
Yeah.
And the first time I did it was an open mic, and I knew it's like, okay, this is going to be either the longest 5 minutes of my life or over faster than the first time I had sex. And I forgot half my material. Mm-hmm. I think I got through about 2.5, 3 minutes, and then I ran out of material because I couldn't remember all my material because I was so nervous.
I had an acting coach once tell me that when you get into the audition room, and the same thing can be true for open mics, your nerves will water everything down so much. So, like, for the amount that you think you're prepared, it's going to completely shift when you're actually under the spotlight or you're actually sitting in the casting room. And that is just knowing that has helped me forgive myself and kind of just roll. And then the improv experience helps you just kind of roll with it. Like, all right, we're just going to we're humans here. And open mics are tricky because it's just a bunch of other comedians and we're all just trying to find our way and try to write something funny and try to, try to make each other laugh. And also too, you sit through a bunch of bad shit. It's so bad. And so, what do you, and I'm always trying to be a support, in the audience, trying to support people. And my husband's like, none of those people laughed at you. Why are you doing that? You know what I mean? Comedians sit with their arms crossed and a scowl on their face. And it's a very tricky thing. So if you do get a laugh there, maybe it works. But sometimes I like to use open mics just to put it into my nervous system, just to say the material out loud. Uh-huh. And it's then in my nervous system so that when I do it in a show, I have the beats down, I have the rhythm down, I have it imprinted into my brain and my body.
It's repetition.
Yes.
It's getting it down. Luckily, the open mic that I did was in Atwater Village at this wine bar. You have to go downstairs. It's this weird fucking thing. It's like in a wine store, but there's a bar downstairs.
They are often in weird places.
Yeah, and it was a very cool atmosphere, especially for somebody who's doing it for his first time, because everybody there was supportive.
That's good. That's good when you find places like that. I've been to some good ones and some really bad ones, and I would love to say the crappy ones on the air. I would love to say it.
Well, you can. Nobody's listening. Yeah.
Nobody's listening.
Nobody's listening. All right. I know you got a hard out at noon, right?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so
but everybody come and watch Funny How tonight at the Open Space Theater, 457 North Fairfax. The info's on my website.
And which is AnnaVocino.com. That's ANNA.
We didn't talk about any food.
No, we didn't. Well, we got a couple minutes yet.
I'm dancing.
So the one thing that I need you to work on, and I know you get this all the time. I've heard you talk about barbecue sauce, but do you have a mustard vinegar based Southern Carolina style barbecue sauce that you've worked on?
My pulled pork barbecue recipe in Eat Happy is a Carolina barbecue.
It is.
Yes, it is. So it is a vinegar based.
Oh.
You get a pork shoulder, pork butt, or whatever. You can do it in the slow cooker, or you can do it in the smoker, however you want to do it. Yeah. And it's a vinegar based pulled pork barbecue. And then if you want to add barbecue sauce to it, you can make the barbecue sauce recipe. But yes, that is more of a sweeter, because it uses dates and blueberries for the sweet. I have a more Texas style one coming out in the second book.
Oh, yeah.
It's quite lovely. And it basically is using like 5 different kinds of peppers, and then you roast them in the oven and smash them down, and then you make a barbecue out of that.
Really?
But that's a more savory Texas style, Southwest style.
Are you still taste testing for the second book?
Yes, I am.
Because you
need to come over and eat.
You have a fat guy who's happy to
come over and try some stuff.
Yes, as long as there's no mushrooms.
Oh, no mushrooms. Okay. No, today I'm making seafood stew. I'm going to throw some. Is that a good reaction or a bad reaction? Okay.
Oh yeah. I get excited about food.
Oh, it's going to be great. It's going to be some squid tubes, because I don't like dealing with tentacles. And you can just buy the tubes at the seafood guy. Sea bass, mussels, shrimp, and jumbo lump crab meat. And I'm going to do a tomato style with some fennel and onion and celery and garlic. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do today. I'm almost done with the book. It's supposed to come out in November. So
that's right.
I need to be done with it so I can be formatted.
It has to be out for Christmas.
Yeah, I want it to be. And if it's not, it won't be, but hopefully it will be.
Yeah, well get it out. I mean, come on, what the fuck? But, I mean, the first one did well.
Yes.
Was it hard?
It does well.
How
it
hard?
Continues to. I'm very lucky that I didn't know what to expect. Was it hard?
I mean, yeah, because you did it all by yourself. You self-published, correct?
Yes, I did.
You did all the photos. You bought a camera. You learned how to be a photographer.
Yes.
And you wrote all the recipes.
Well, because they told me it cost $30,000 and I wouldn't even be able to photograph all the food in it. And I was like, what? That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Those guys make a lot of money, and gals.
$30 is a lot of money.
$30 is a lot of money. $30,000 for...
$30,000.
I know. It was crazy. So, there's still some pictures in the book. There's, I think, still like 3 or 4 iPhone pictures in there that make me cringe. But the next book, the photos will be even better, because now I've learned a lot more and I have new lenses. And
I'll tell you what, though. I mean, you can actually take some good pictures with iPhones.
You can. It's more about the lighting. If you have good lighting, and I didn't understand that when I was first getting started. But yeah, I did the whole thing myself, and I'm not a writer or a publisher. I didn't think that I would ever publish a cookbook. So it awakened every demon of doubt that I could possibly have. And so the good thing was that I would print it in small runs, and then I would go back. And now I'm done making changes and corrections. I had to make a few changes. Like, for instance, when I started writing the book, they called almond flour almond meal. So I said almond meal, and people were like, what is it? Because by the time the book came out, grocery stores had changed it to almond flour. It's like a little thing, but I had to go back and change it. Things like that, and finding typos, and which drives me crazy. Especially, you don't even know. You look at a book a million times. I paid editors. I paid ladies who specialize in that, and they all found stuff. And then the book comes out, and you're like, fuck. What? Or like it says half salt instead of like half teaspoon of salt. Like it'll miss a word or something, and it's infuriating. But yeah, I did it.
Well, and if anybody wants to check out any of the recipes, you can go to AnnaVocino.com.
Yeah, there's a lot of free ones there.
Yeah, there's a lot of free ones on there. Check it out. Buy the book. Go through Vinny's page and put coal in the fire, as he likes to say. And buy the book on Amazon. And then the new one's coming out hopefully by November. We got to get you back in when we have more time. I'll get you and Vinny in together.
Yeah.
But Vinny, well, wait. It's because Vinny said the next time he comes on, there has to be porn stars here.
Oh, well, y'all can do that.
We'll do that.
Yeah,
and then the next time.
I support you in that.
Yes.
But from afar.
From afar.
Yeah.
From afar.
Yeah.
The last porn star I had on, Aiden Ashley, she promised a topless porn star drunken summit. And I'm all about that. But the catch is I have to wear the mankini. So I have to.
That's fine.
I have to get rid of the ab.
Well, you can't have a monster juice for a week beforehand.
Oh, no.
And then in a week, you'll be ready for that mankini. You will rock that mankini.
You should see the pictures. It's not attractive. All right, so Anna, I know you got to go, so we are going to end this.
Thanks for having me, man.
Oh, dude, you are welcome anytime. I got to bring that up and click my outro music. Thank you guys for listening. We'll be back on Tuesday. On Tuesday, I will have Michael Grant and the Assassins. We all know Michael Grant, former LA Guns guitar player. His brand new band is the Assassins. They will be in studio Tuesday afternoon. Like I said, I just do this on the whim now. It used to be every Monday. Now it's like, well, fuck it. Let's do 3 shows this week. Why not? So Michael Grant and the Assassins will be in studio. Make sure you hit up all of the sponsors like John Palumbo Design. He designs stuff. You need a band logo. You need anything, website, any of that stuff. Hit up John Palumbo Design. He's a good man who does great work. Hit up all the social media at Real Izzy Presley all the way across the board. Twitter, Instagram, if you want to see how much Astroglide I'm going through. See what I'm eating. And then we'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Dash Radio, download the app, the Monsters of Rock channel. I am the Morning Gas Bag. We'll talk to you then, and we'll talk to you again on Tuesday. I do love you all, and would you kindly go fuck yourselves? And what I lack in talent, I make up for in cock. It's another fucking podcast.